Anyways, some of you, of course, may have practiced the speech. Some of you may not have. If you have attended my master seminar, you practiced a little bit. And if you're a Kaplan student, of course, you've been practicing a lot. But today, in the first place, I'd like you to listen to my interpretation of this speech. You know, it's not just copying his speech. I'm going to deliver this speech from the beginning to the end, if you don't mind, for 16 minutes. Okay? All right. And hope that I can communicate with you. All right? I'm going to try to put myself into his position and think that how I would speak if I were him. So I'm not just going to imitate him, but I'm going to recite the speech. Okay? And hopefully that this will encourage you to practice this speech after this seminar. You don't have to learn this, memorize this speech today, don't worry, okay? But you can practice after this seminar. And this is just an example. And this is the end of 2008, of course. And year 2009, he will be the President of the United States officially. And also you will start another year. So I hope this is going to be a kind of present to you too. Okay? I think it's a very good idea to practice learning a speech of this kind. And practice. I wrote in my blog, but those people who practice playing the piano, practice playing classic music, right? Whether they want to be a jazz pianist or, whatever. So this is going to be some kind of fundamental exercise, okay? All right, so let me start. Thank you, Dick Durbin. You make us all proud. On behalf of the great state of Illinois, crossroads of a nation, land of Lincoln, let me express my deepest gratitude for the privilege of addressing this convention. Tonight is a particular honor for me because, let's face it, my presence on this stage is pretty unlikely. My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya. He grew up herding goats, went to school in a tin roof shack. His father, my grandfather, was a cook, a domestic servant to the British. But my grandfather had larger dreams for his son. Through hard work and perseverance, my father got a scholarship to study in a magical place, America, that shone as a beacon of freedom and opportunity to so many who had come before. My parents shared not only an improbable love, they shared an abiding faith in the possibilities of this nation. They would give me an African name, Barack or Blessed, believing that in a tolerant America, your name is no barrier to success. They imagined me going to the best schools in the land even though they weren't rich, because in a generous America, you don't have to be rich to achieve your potential. They're both passed away now. And yet, I know that on this night, they look down on me with great pride. They stand here, and I stand here today, grateful for the diversity of my heritage, aware that my parents' dreams live on in my two precious daughters. And I stand here knowing that my story is part of the larger American story, that I owe a debt to all of those who came before me, and that in no other country on earth is my story even possible. Tonight, we gather to affirm the greatness of our nation, not because of the height of our skyscrapers or the power of our military or the size of our economy. Our pride is based on a very simple premise, summed up in a declaration made over 200 years ago. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is the true genius of America. A faith in simple dreams, an insistence on small miracles, that we can tuck in our children at night and know that they are fed and clothed and safe from harm. That we can say what we think write what we think without hearing a sudden knock on the door. That we can have an idea and start our own business without paying a bribe. That we can participate in the political process without fear of retribution, and that our votes will be counted, at least most of the time. Now, even as we speak, there are those who are preparing to divide us. The spin masters, the negative ad peddlers, who embrace the politics of anything goes. Well, I say to them tonight, there is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America. There's not a black America and a white America, a Latino America, an Asian America. There is the United States of America. The pundits would like to slice and dice our country into red states and blue states. Red states for Republicans and blue states for Democrats. But I've got news for them too. We worship an awesome God in the blue states. And we don't like federal agents poking around in our libraries in the red states. We coach Little Rig in the blue states. And yes, we got some gay friends in the red states. There are patriots who opposed the war in Iraq, and there are patriots who supported the war in Iraq. We are one people, all of us pledging allegiance to the Stars and Stripes, all of us defending the United States of America. In the end, that's what this election is about. Do we participate in the politics of cynicism, or do we participate in the politics of hope? John Kerry calls us on us to hope. John Edwards calls on us to hope. I'm not talking about blind optimism here, the almost willful ignorance that thinks unemployment will go away if we just don't think about it, or the healthcare crisis will solve itself if we just ignore it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something more substantial. It's the hope of slaves sitting around a fire singing freedom songs. The hope of immigrants setting out for distant shores. The hope of a young naval lieutenant bravely patrolling the Mekong Delta. The hope of a mill worker's son who dares to defy the odds. The hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too. Hope in the face of difficulty. Hope in the face of uncertainty. The audacity of hope. In the end, that's what is God's greatest gift to us. The bedrock of this nation. A belief in things not seen. A belief that there are better days ahead. I believe that we can give our middle class relief and provide working families with a road to opportunity. I believe we can give jobs to the jobless, homes to the homeless, and reclaim young people in cities across America from violence and despair. I believe that we have a righteous wind at our backs, and as we stand on the crossroads of history, we can make the right choices and meet the challenges that face us. America, tonight, if you feel the same energy that I do, if you feel the same urgency that I do, if you feel the same passion that I do, if you feel the same hopefulness that I do, if we do what we must do, then I have no doubt that all across this country, from Florida to Oregon, from Washington to Maine, the people will rise up in November, and John Kerry will be sworn in as president, and John Edwards will be sworn in as vice president, and this country will reclaim its promise. And out of this long political darkness, a brighter day will come. Thank you very much, everybody, and God bless you. Thank you very much.